Hey guys, welcome to Unleash Podcast brought to you by Hidden Gen, where we talk about how to unleash your hidden potential. I'm your host, Yuri Diogenes, and we have a great episode for you today featuring Tony Mack. Thank you, Tony, for being on today.
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely, my friend. Before we jump into today's topic, we would like to invite you to subscribe to this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Also, you can find all these episodes at hiddengen.net. And if you live in the area and have not been at Hidden Gen, you can always grab a free trial pass at hiddengen.net. Tony, great to have you here.
So,
Recently, we've been through a session together. It was great. And let's start this conversation talking about boxing as a health lifestyle from the fitness perspective. I see that your business is growing. You're getting a lot of new students there. Let's talk about the types of classes that you have. It's not only about boxing for the fight, but about fitness and condition as well, right?
100%. We focus on boxing fitness, where we teach the how and the why of boxing, but at the same time, do the boxing workouts like the hit style training and like body weight training and like plyometrics, high intensity interval training, like I said before, hit style. And what we focus on the true principles of boxing, and you get the best workout of your life. Like we push people to their limits. At the same time, we have different levels, and so we modify any kind of workout for you. If you're not at that level, we accept all fitness levels, and so we do it all, man. We have the boxing fitness part, and then like you say, we have more than the boxing fitness. We have the amateur program, we have kids boxing, we have masters program, we have professional boxers come. We got NFL players coming in and look to turn pro, so we have a little bit of everything.
That's awesome. And when you have for the fitness program, it's like a group session and everyone together, regardless of the level.
No matter what level you are, it's a group session. You could be a beginner who never boxed a day in their life, or you could be somebody who's been doing a class or been with me for almost 10 years, and we all do one big class. We have an hour class Monday through Saturday and different times, stuff like that. So it's pretty legit, man. It's really, really good for all fitness levels. It's one of the best workouts you could do.
Is this, do you incorporate a lot of things that you learn when you were an amateur boxer, or things that you are doing today were not even things that you've done in the past?
So I incorporated a little bit of everything when I was on the USA team, when I was with some of my amateur coaches, when I first started boxing, and a lot I learned from my professional ranks and stuff like that. And I mix it all in, but as life go on, I see other things. I'm continuing studying. I'm always reading. I'm always looking at videos. I'm always picking up ideas, and I'm just a forever. I'm a student of fitness. I'm a student of life, and I'm always learning. I'm always not taking ideas, but I get inspired by other trainers, and I see how they do it, but I make it my own. I'm always learning. I'm always looking for something new. I'm always challenging myself to challenge my members. And so, yeah, it's the things that I learned from coming up in the ranks through boxing. There's also the new stuff I learned. I'm around great trainers all day, and I can see them do something like, that's pretty dope. But I make it my
Hmm.
own. I mix it in with boxing and stuff like that. So I'm learning every day.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome. But
yeah,
do you try to keep the box as the center of everything, from the sense that sometimes when people are punching, they usually drop their left hand? Do you try to correct things in such a way that it can also be a self-defense type of training?
you're 100%. I am a technique junkie. Like if I see anything out the way technical, I will make sure I correct it, and I encourage my coaches to do the same things. I want everybody to really learn how to box, really learn how to fight, like you say, self defense. So when it comes to technique when it comes to bag work and when it comes to the mitts. I want to make sure everybody do it right because I don't want nobody to hurt their shoulders. I don't want nobody to hurt themselves. And just in case anything happen on the
Hmm.
streets, I'm gonna teach you how to fight the right way, and we're gonna correct every little mistake you make. And I'm really really big on technique because I was taught that way, and I don't want nobody leaving my gym not knowing how to fight. And we're supposed to be a boxing gym, a boxing fitness gym, owned by somebody who's went to a high level in boxing. And you're not gonna learn how to box. It's disrespectful. I'm gonna show them how to. I'm gonna show you how to really fight. I want you learning something every day. I want you to come out of the gym like, oh man, we picked up something new. Oh, can't believe they took the time out to show me all these techniques because a lot of gyms just want you to hit the bags and just do it for fitness. So I'm gonna show you the how and the why of boxing, and you're gonna really learn how
Yeah,
to
and
fight,
one of the things
how
that
to
I
box.
notice training a little bit of boxing is that people has a really wrong perception that it's all about punches, but there is a lot of footwork involved.
A lot of footwork. Your feet and your hands gotta be just as fast together because if you don't land the punch, like if you don't step, you can't land the punch. So your feet is just as important as your punches, as your hands. Like your defense, your footwork. You know, you got to be able. You just can't slip the punch. You got to be able to step out the way. You got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to move around. So your your footwork got to be just as important as your hands because it all come together. It's a sweet science behind it, man. It's beautiful. Once it all come together, that's when the magic happens, like a
Yeah,
cake.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And what about people that are like out of shape and they feel like they are too slow? They feel like they are not there yet, and they always doubt themselves to say, "Well, should I first try to lose a little bit of weight before I get into this boxing thing, or can I join even being overweight?"
That's like one of my biggest pet peeves because everybody be like, "Yo, man, I see you over there training. I've been hearing about you, but I got to get in condition first to get over there with you." I'm like, "Look, that's my job. I need you to come in the worst shape of your life so I can prove that we are what we say we are. You know who we are." And so I want to make sure that you could. That's my job to build your conditioning. That's my job to build your confidence. That's my job to get you coordinated in boxing way. And that's what I want you to come at the lowest level. So whatever point in life you're at, like if you just out of shape, if you never box and you just uncoordinated, we accept it all because that's my job. And I guarantee you, if you stick with it, we could get you to that level you want to be at. But it just depends on the work you want to put
Hmm.
in. So if you're out of shape at the moment, if you feel like you're not coordinated, if you feel like you're gonna look crazy because you never boxed, please test me. I guarantee you, we have the patience, and we will make sure you get to your goal, whatever you want to do or learn or anything like that. Let's. I love it when you're not in the best shape because that's where I
Yeah.
come in. That's where my team come in, and we get you to that next
Yeah,
level.
and in the same token, I think you probably also have people that get into the gym knowing that they already know everything, and they, you know, not gonna learn
Mm.
anything new, and then you surprise them, right?
It 100% every time. Like, man, I thought I was in shape. Every time when somebody leave a workout, I'm like, man, I thought I was in shape. It's nothing like this boxing workout. So you're 100% right. I hear that just as much as I hear people scared to come train because they're not in shape. And then the ones that's in the best shape ever, like, look, it's nothing like boxing training. It's nothing like jujitsu. Everything you do is nothing like wrestling because it's a total different
Hmm.
workout, man. It's like it's all body weight, body movement. If you're not used to that stuff, yo, you're gonna
Now,
feel it.
for the amateurs that are training with you, you probably train a lot of amateurs, and I see that your team keeps winning in Vegas. Have a great result there. I saw the results and everything. Now let's talk about a little bit of the mindset of these athletes, because on the master level, many of them, are not on their prime, but they are still pushing very forward to improve. What is really the mindset of a master athlete, and how they can keep a
You said
balance between regular life and sport?
talk about the
Yes.
masters. So the masters, man, it's the thing is with the masters guys is that they do it as
Right.
a hobby, and they just do it because they always most people that never boxed before or people that always or they used to box when they was a kid and they never got to the next level that they wanted to. They never competed, or they must have went to a gym and just never took it to the next level. And so guys come in, masters say, I really want to take it take it serious. And so these guys actually come in and put in the work. And we just train once or twice a week. And these guys are serious. And the thing is, we put together such a good group of guys and such an encouraging group is that we spar, we train, we fight, and these guys is like really encouraging each other. So it really pushes them to compete. It really pushes them to see how far they could go in the Masters, and the guys they take it serious. And so this a life. They have a life outside of the gym and stuff like that, but they actually come into the gym and put the work in like they're getting ready for a world class fight. And I think that's really cool because they don't have to do it at all. They do it just for the love. And I think most of people be more successful in it because they do it because they having fun with it. Like a lot of fighters, amateur fighters, and a lot of the pro fighters, sometimes you lose the enjoyment of it because it turns into a job. If you get to the next level, you got to take it really, really serious. So it's kind of not as fun. But the Masters, they don't have nothing to lose. They're just doing this because they love it. Yeah. And so then we put them around an encouraging environment, and you know, it's like a family atmosphere we built. And so they don't want to disappoint their family. So they come in there and bust their butt off. When they come to fighting, they go in there and win because I teach them really how to fight like they're getting ready for a world-class fight.
That's awesome.
They really take it serious.
That's really cool. Because it's almost like a second chance in life, right? They are not on their prime anymore, but then they may have that old dream of competing, and that's the chance that they have. So I think it's pretty amazing.
100%, man. You get to see these guys who's 45 years old, 50 years old, actually go in there and fight their ass off, and then come out and they win. And then as you know, it's just inspired the other masters. Like, yo, I see Father Tom won again. Yo, I see Derek won. I see Vicky won again. And so all the other masters like, yo, I want to do it. And so then as you know, they all start signing up and they all start taking sparring serious and they all start training serious. Then it's just like it's just the atmosphere with guys that around winners. And so it's pretty cool. It's really, really cool to see their dreams
come
true.
Now you're touching something very important about being passionate, which is something very important. As you said, there are some fighters, some boxers that they start to see that as a job and they are not enthusiastic as they were in the beginning. I mean, as far as I understand, throughout your own career, you were always very passionate. You had to stop for a different reason, right?
Yeah, I was very, very passionate. I think I was a little bit too passionate because I was willing to run through some punches, willing to run through some brick walls to get to the next level. Don't get me wrong, I had very, very, very discouraging moments where I just second guessed it plenty of times, but my passion and my will to succeed kept me going. And the thing is, I would have kept going until something very bad happened because I wasn't going to stop. And then, you know, but at the end of the day, I had to get out of boxing because of detached retina, because I was a very tough fighter. And I've learned throughout the years that, hey, if I could switch a few things up and switch up my training and do a little something different, I would. So now I'm installing that into my fighters. Like the stuff that I learned throughout me fighting and the stuff that I learned throughout my years of fighting, I'm installing into the fighters now. And that's why I'm very passionate with what I'm doing now. But my fear is I'm a little bit too passionate. I don't want it more than my fighters want it. Sometimes I run, like in the past, from what I learned now, sometimes I run some of my fighters off because I'm too passionate. I'm like, look, you gotta put the work in, you gotta do this, you gotta do it, and it scares some people because they're not, everybody's not like this. So I gotta learn how to be empathetic with that person and ease them into it. I gotta ease into it because everyone don't have that mentality, and every fighter don't come from where I come from and stuff like that.
But I bet you that there are things that you've done in your amateur career that if you look at back today, you will say, well, I think I could have done something a bit different to achieve a better result, something more smart from the training perspective, right? Do you have those moments that you're like, okay, I should have not have done this. And for my fighters, I want them to do differently.
100%. All the time. It's like when I think back for when I had bad weight cuts um, or when I lost a fight by a couple of points. If I would have did this, I would have did that. When I fought in Olympic trials, if I would have been more of a boxer and trying to knock this guy out and been a little bit of a thinker, because as an amateur, I was trained by a Mexican coach, and sometimes he taught me how to bang. All I did was just bang, bang, bang. But I didn't have the skills. My will got me to that next level, but I didn't have the skills to get to that to make the Olympic team because of the style of training I had. I got really good when I got with the coach I got as a professional, because he was more of a skilled fighter. So I wish I would have learned a little bit more skills as an amateur and I've not been a banger, because the Olympic people, the Olympic committee, they don't want on the U.S. team. They want boxers, and I was more of a slugger boxer until I turned professional. When I turned pro, I ended up getting with Derrick James, and he switched up my whole style, and I became that boxer. But I wish I would have had it as an amateur, because I had enough will to get to the next level, but I didn't have enough skills to get to the Olympic level. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? Like I willed my way to the top. When it got to the actual Olympics, the Olympic trials, my skills wasn't there because I had that Mexican style fight, and they really. And I didn't have that much skills behind it, so it really wasn't meant. So I really wish, because it was fun when I made the U.S. national team. It was fun being around those guys and traveling with those guys and just having fun. But when it came to the actual 2012 Olympics and I didn't make the team, I know why, because because the skills I had at the time didn't get me there, and I wish I would have got with more of a. I would have a little bit more finesse as a fighter.
And that's why today you are so big on the technique, probably, right? Because you're like, technique is important.
Technique is 100% important. And, I always knew that, because when I turned pro, I ended up getting with Derrick James, and all we focused on was technique. Everything behind the jab. Like when I was with my coaches and amateur, we didn't really focus on jab. We just focused on getting in and making a fight ugly and beating people up. And that's what got me to the next level. But I got to the level off that when I got to the level off that skills, when it was time to get to the international level, that's when the technique and everything came. And I wish I would have just switched up a few more things. I would have been on a 2012 Olympic team. I had it, but I just didn't have it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right. No, it does. It does. And as you said, I think in any mix of martial arts type of sports, that the initial approach is always strength, power, but then as you evolve, you start to realize that's not everything. You're only gonna go to the next level if you have good technique.
100%. And I didn't know how to look at my opponent weaknesses and figure it out. I just wanted to go in there and just knock them out. I did that. I knocked out some people that's been boxing their entire life. I knocked out some of the top ranked fighters. But then when it got to that level, when it came to the semifinals in the USA Nationals, when it came to the finals in the Nationals, when it came to the finals in the World Series of boxing, all this stuff, but then that's where I got exposed. Like, oh crap, this guy, he's tough as hell. He'll take a punch, he'll fight you, but I didn't have that technique where it's like, oh, get on a jab, look at his weaknesses, move your head a little bit more, keep stepping, stay on your feet. Besides just walking somebody down, because that can only take you so far. And when I turned pro, that's what got me to that next level in professional. And then my eye went out. I was getting so good. You understand? It was so fun, because I could have been a world champion. Everything was finally coming together when I was 13-1-1, about to fight for, like, getting ready. Like, I was in talks for world titles and stuff, but I was getting ranked, and then boom, my eye blew up. It sucks.
Do you believe that the problem in your eye was also that your lack of awareness for defense? You're not so good in defending, and you were getting punches all the time on your eye, or it was just a freak accident?
I think it was a little bit of both, because I started boxing at the age of 20, and I wasn't an athlete growing up. So that's the only way I got to that level, because I had to take some ass whoopings to get to the next level. But I just kept it going. Not only in fighting, it was the sparring that I had to endure. I sparred all top-notch fighters world champions, Olympians, top notch professional ranked fighters just to get to where I'm at. Because when it came to the fight time, it was easy because I risked my health fighting the best fighters.
Yeah.
And then it took a lot of punishment in my body. Even when I was pro, I sparred guys like Earl Spence Jr. I sparred guys like Robert Brant, sparred guys like Jermaine Taylor. I was in Jermaine Taylor camp. He world champion. I was in it counts because I wasn't as athletic coming up. But in order for me to get to the next level, I did the work. I worked my way up to that level. Like I did the stuff that nobody else didn't want to do. That's how I got to that level. I took some punishment. I think that, and it was like the doctor told me it was genetics and my profession. So what I did, I think my style of fighting got me there. Got
Yeah.
caused the injury until like and then until I got with Derek James and I started moving. He started teaching me how to box. Start moving my head, using everything, doing everything off my jab, picking my punches. Besides going in and trying to knock somebody out, no, everything's off the jab. Get on your jab. Find your opponent's weaknesses off the jab. Pick your shots. Move your head. Don't stand in front of your opponent. Tight defense. Tight defense. And then when I got it all together, when I finally got it together, when I became the skilled fighter I was always wanted to be, that's when the injury happened.
And this only shows how important it is to have a good coach by your side, right? And,
100%.
a coach that can spend some time with you and give those valuable tips and everything. So the question that I have is, when you are training people for fitness or for competition, how deep you go on a one-on-one level? Because, for example, a group class is hard to be interacting with everyone. But I've seen some of your class in a distance when I was at Hidden Gym, and I noticed that you are very engaged with everyone. So you try to give attention to everyone at least.
I try my best to give attention to everybody. I try my best to at least correct a couple of technical mistakes that people have in class. I want everybody to feel special, so I want to make sure that everybody's learning something. I'm not going to get everybody, 'cause everybody is very different. Everybody needs that one-on-one attention. But when I'm in class, I try to engage with everybody. I try to make everybody feel like they're valued in class, and I want to make sure everybody feel like they learned something. And I want to make sure I go to each individual and just correct something. It's not gonna all come together at once. It's gonna be some people probably feel a little left out, but I don't know. But I'm trying my best. I want to make sure everybody leave having the best workout of their life and learn some type of boxing techniques. At least make sure if I tell them to keep their hands up, I tell them, hey, get on your jab, bring your hands back to your face. Hey, move your head, elbows in a little tighter. Just make sure they learn something
Right.
technical so they can feel like they learned something. And then when it comes to fighters, I'm on a whole nother level. I don't play. I let them know now, I'm like, look, you have a choice. I said, we got the boxing fitness area. There's nothing wrong being boxing, like being in boxing fitness. So I said, but when it comes to boxing, I said, you can't play boxing. This is serious. So I take it serious. And thing is, you have to take it just as serious as I am because I'm not the one in the ring. So I was like, you could play boxing by doing a boxing fitness class. Nothing wrong with you. You don't have to be a boxer. It's not meant for everybody to be a fighter. But I said, but if you're going to come over here and train with the fighters, you got to work. You got to take this serious because your life is in my hands and you can easily get hurt. And so we don't play boxing. So it's a little bit of difference. I have fun, but I want them to have fun with it. My fighters, but I don't want them to lose passion. I don't want them to lose interest because sometimes I do be too serious, but then sometimes I got like ease back. I learn from my mistakes and from some of my other coaches. Some of my other coaches were real serious. They took the fun out of it sometimes. So I got to find that fine balance to like, look, take it serious, but at the same time,
Yeah, yeah. You want to
know?
make sure that that people take it serious and they are committed to make improvements, and that you are there to push them. So that's totally fine. Now, one topic that a lot of people usually don't like to talk about, because many people go to the boxing class and it's fun, they sweat, they feel like something is progressing, but then they do not take care of their nutrition. Do you touch with on the topic of nutrition with the people that you train?
I do. I tell them I'm not a nutritionist, I said, but I know enough to be dangerous because I've lived it and I've done it. And so I partner with a few nutritionists, especially with my private people, my private clients. I got a few nutritionists I send them to because 80% is nutrition, 20% is training. So you can do all the training in the world, but you do have to have your nutritional point if you really want to reach your goals. And just for your energy level to be good, just so you could be in class and handle the whole class throughout the hour or throughout the week. So nutrition is key, and we do focus on nutrition a lot. So I tell them what I know, my knowledge that I know coming up as a fighter and the stuff I had to do to get weight down or how to maintain my weight when I was fighting. Because, my goal was never go over 10 to 5 pounds, even though it was tough. But, even when I'm outside of my fight, when I'm not even fighting, when I'm not in competition shape, I still try to stay 5 to 10 pounds over so I don't have to drop 20, 30 pounds. And I did that before, and it was like one of the worst things you could do is have to drop 20, 30 pounds before a fight because you wasn't on your nutrition because you enjoy life a little bit too much after win and just start eating up a storm and stuff like that. So I knew I just tell them what I went through and all the stuff. Like you say, I still, like I say, I still study. I still
Yeah, because people
do
people
my
think that they
research.
can overtrain a bad nutrition. The reality is they can't. They can spend the whole day at the gym. If they eat bad, it's not gonna work.
Can you repeat that one
I'm
more
just
time?
saying that people sometimes they think that they can overtrain nutrition. And the reality is you
Oh,
can spend the whole day at the gym. If you don't have a good nutrition, it's not gonna work.
it's not going to work 100%. You're 110% because you can do all the work you want to, but you go home and eat whatever you want to eat. It's going to ruin everything you just did. So
Yeah.
you got nutrition is key. Like, and I try to tell my people, like, don't like Rome wasn't built in one and overnight. Don't try to be perfect because that's when you get discouraged. But let's just make small
Hmm.
moderations. Small moderations. Go, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure you just switch up your diet a little bit. Have healthy, balanced protein. Have healthy, balanced carb. Have a healthy, balanced vegetable. Drink plenty of water. Stay away from, the bad foods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I try to break it down to them. Like, look, so don't go home and just go strict because that's when most people give up right away. I said, but just in moderation, just be smart. And then when you're ready to really crank it up, take it to the next level, then come talk to us. Then we can help you. Because I don't want you to get discouraged right away because most people just get on the scale and get discouraged. Like, look, you could be putting on muscle, you could be holding on water weight. Just don't get on the scale too much and just focus on the scale. Just keep doing what you're doing and small moderations. Don't get discouraged. But when it's time to take it to the next level, we could do that as well
Now,
too. So
Tony, just this is gonna be the last question to wrap up because I think that this is an important point. I I always thought I had a good cardio until I start boxing, and I realized that my cardio was not really that good. I mean, the boxing cardio is extremely tough. How do you improve boxing cardio? Just doing more? There is anything else that it can be done to improve your cardio in a boxing class?
yep. So what you can do is get outside and
Mm,
run, mix in sprints, like go for a nice 20 minute run, and then mix in interval sprints, like a fight. Like when you go on, you jab, 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 and then boom, throw a nasty combination, build that conditioning up, get on the heavy bag, push yourself on the heavy bag. Don't go through the motions on the heavy bag. When I mean you gotta punch and go hard and to exert yourself. That's how you build up the conditioning and that power on the heavy bag. But then again, you gotta know how to hit the heavy bag right. So and then, man, just grab some dumbbells, 1 to 2, 3 pound dumbbells, and shadow box. Go for fast paced combinations. Build up the conditioning. And most people hate it, but mix in burpees. mix in burpees, throw combination, mix in burpees, and just focus on jumping rope, running, shadow boxing, hardcore bag work. Like go at an intense pace. Like push yourself to the level where you can't really go no more, but still push through it, and that'll build your conditioning. That'll build
that's a
your
great
conditioning.
tip. That's a great tip. Thank you very much. I think it will help a lot of people that are interested in try out or people that are listening to this episode and are already in your class and feel the same thing I felt when I tried for the first time, that I was like, oh, my cardio is good, this is gonna be nothing. And then after 3 minutes, I was almost dead.
Yo, 1 minute will kill you. People don't understand that 1 minute of boxing, 30 seconds of boxing, 1 minute of boxing will break you down. And even for myself, I can stop. Like, I'm so used to holding mitts all day, and then when I go hit the bag after like taking off like a month, I get on the bag like, whew, I need to go apologize to my clients. I forgot how this feels. I need to get back on this. I need to get back to work. Man, I'm slacking, especially if you stop for a while and then get back on it. It's tough. That's how you know boxing is just so amazing, because you can be in the best shape of your life, you're going to get winded if you're not used to boxing shape. You can be used to being in the best shape and then go back to hitting the bags and right way, be like, man, doing mitts, oh my God, mitts is even worse.
It burns your shoulders so much. Oh my goodness.
Consistency is key in boxing. You have to stay consistent or you will feel the burn. You will feel the burn.
All right, Tony, thank you very much for your time. I truly appreciate it. Great chat, great tips. Wish you the best for your business. Make sure to visit Tony at Hidden Gem and get a class. So you will love it. I did, and it's really good.
Thank you, too. We just opened up the second location in Farmersville. So if you're out in the Princeton, McKinney, Farmersville, Lavon, Blue Ridge area, come check out the second location.
Awesome.
Out in Farmersville. T-Mack Elite Trainer 2.0.
Amazing. Great news, Tony. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you again in the next episode.